First on Fox, the State Department of Mental Health says veteran suicides in Tennessee are on the rise. In fact, the numbers show veteran suicides jumped almost 9% last year.
Really troubling, and now the state says it's time to fight back. Fox 17's Eric Alvarez live in Centennial Park tonight to show us how Tennessee is protecting those who protect us. Eric.
Well, Scott, Stacy, right now the Tennessee Suicide Prevention Network is hosting an outreach event in conjunction with Fort Campbell officials here at Centennial Park. Now, the point of this is to remember veterans that have committed suicide here in the state of Tennessee, but also to find ways to keep that from happening again in the future. Now, they say the best way to do that is through education and also by removing the stigma that many people place on suicide.
A Pentagon survey shows an 8% increase in the number of young men willing to enlist in the U.S. Armed Forces in the months after the attacks on September 11, 2001, that led to separate conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan. As those soldiers return, Scott Ridgway of the Tennessee Suicide Prevention Network says they're committing suicide at an alarming rate.
Middle-aged Caucasian male are at our highest risk. Some of that may be veterans that just have come back from war. Some of those may be multiple deployments. In
fact, the Department of Mental Health says veterans account for 21% of all suicides in the state of Tennessee.
I think it's very alarming. One suicide's one too many.
The Department of Mental Health says since 1990, more than 4,200 veterans have committed suicide in Tennessee. That's an average of 175 every year. In 2012, there were 197, and that jumped to 214 last year. Ridgway says that's why the Suicide Prevention Network launched a special hotline to help former service members.
That's 1-800-273-TALK, 8255.
He says a live operator is always there to answer the call and has the ability to see the individual veteran's records to provide custom care for each veteran.
So I would encourage anyone that's working with a veteran, or if I'm talking to a veteran out there, to call that number, 1-800-273-TALK.
Now, organizers of this outreach event say this is all very important. Now, I wanted to show you this display they have set up here. Now, this grayed out boots represent Sergeant Field Artillery, a 29-year-old who spent 4 years in the service. He was married and he committed suicide by a handgun. If you want to go ahead and come back up. People are handing out flyers, giving out information, really getting the message across that there is help for all of these mid-state veterans. Reporting live in Centennial Park, Eric Alvarez, Fox 17 News.